You can feel the air change on a night like this. It's not just the chill of November, it's the cold dread of knowing that when those two rings lock together, and that steel roof comes down, everything you thought you knew about loyalty and survival goes out the window. We call it WarGames. We call it Survivor Series. I call it the night the blood comes clean. And the blood is already on the floor, isn't it? Not from a match. Not from a high-flying spot or a botched move. But from a single, brutal, cowardly act of violence that took place just minutes before the cage was even lowered. The victim? CM Punk. The icon. The voice of the voiceless. The man who came back against all odds, against all logic, and against the wishes of damn near everyone in the locker room. And the attacker? A ghost. A phantom. A masked shadow who struck with a speed and a precision that was chilling, leaving the greatest comeback in wrestling history lying in a crumpled heap, bleeding from the mouth, his team scrambling, his dream shattered. We're not talking about a simple cheap shot. We're talking about a calculated move designed not just to injure, but to eliminate Punk from the most important match of the year. This wasn't a professional grudge. This was personal. This was vindictive. And for the last 3 weeks, as Punk has been sidelined with bruised ribs and a fractured pride, the suspects list has grown longer than the Great Wall of China. The internet is on fire. Is it someone from the past? Is it a disgruntled veteran who saw his own spot shrink when Punk returned? Is it the authority trying to send a message? The theories are chaos. They're noise. And when I'm hunting a snake, I ignore the rattling and listen for the hiss. For 3 weeks, I've been watching the footage, the interviews, the body language. I've been looking at the one piece of evidence the company tried to scrub from existence the moment the attacker slipped. The moment his mask caught the light and revealed something that should never have been there. A fleeting, terrifying truth. The official story is that the assailant was completely covered, black hood, black mask, black gear. Untraceable. But look at the picture, the single frame captured by a fan's phone, right before the feed was cut. Look at the attacker's left hand. It's covered in a black glove, yes. But the light catches the wrist, and for a split second, you see it. Something reflecting. Not a watch. Not a bracelet. It's a scar. A deep, jagged, unmistakable scar that runs from the base of the attacker's thumb, across the wrist, and disappears under the sleeve. A scar that only 2 people on the entire roster carry, and one of them is already in the hospital. That scar tells a story. It tells a story of a wrestling injury from years ago, a piece of exposed ring post, a rushed surgical job, and a constant, burning reminder of a dream deferred. But wait. A lot of wrestlers have scars. A lot of wrestlers have bad luck. This isn't just about a scar. It's about the timing of the attack, and the absolutely perfect way it served one single, terrifying purpose: to replace CM Punk in WarGames. Think about the team structure. Punk was the linchpin, the leader of his side, the man who was supposed to close out the match. When he was taken out, the rules in a moment of unprecedented confusion allowed the substitute to step in. And who was that substitute? A guy who just happened to be standing by. A guy who just happened to be dressed, taped, and ready to go at a moment's notice. A guy who, in the last 6 months, has been absolutely desperate for a main event spotlight. The suspects are obvious: Samoa Joe, his old enemy, always lingering. Drew McIntyre, the disgruntled main eventer with a chip on his shoulder the size of Scotland. Maybe even the stoic, silent, and ever-dangerous Brock Lesnar, looking to make a statement. But those are the easy answers. Those are the guys we're supposed to suspect. They're the camouflage. The true genius of this plan is how it utilized proximity and perceived innocence. Let's dissect the moment. The attack happened in the darkened tunnel, just off the gorilla position, the final staging area before the ring. This area is locked down tighter than Fort Knox. Only 2 groups of people have free access to that spot: the participants, and the authority-approved personnel, coaches, agents, and very specific, high-ranking security staff. The attacker moved with the efficiency of a trained killer. It wasn't a brawl, it was a takedown. He neutralized Punk, a man known for his ability to fight dirty and his background in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, in less than 5 seconds. A perfect rib shot, utilizing the kind of leverage that only comes from years of amateur wrestling discipline. This wasn't the work of a striker like Drew. This wasn't the work of a powerhouse like Lesnar. This was the work of a technician. A technician who had studied Punk's vulnerabilities more closely than anyone, and who is the one man who fits the profile of the technically gifted, ruthlessly efficient, and absolutely desperate technician who was supposed to be in that match anyway, but was dropped at the last minute. I'm talking about a man who was publicly humiliated weeks ago, forced to watch from the sidelines as the spotlight he felt he deserved went straight to the returning icon, CM Punk. A man who was told he was surplus to requirements. A man who has always been praised as one of the best in-ring performers, yet constantly overlooked for the main event position. A man whose quiet frustration was boiling over into a lethal resentment. I'm talking about the man who was so close to CM Punk in the weeks leading up to WarGames, professing his respect and admiration, that no one would ever suspect him. He was the most vocal supporter, the most enthusiastic welcome wagon, the perfect Judas. We need to look back at that scar. The injury that caused it happened during a tryout match years ago, before he ever made it big. A botched sunset flip powerbomb. The jagged piece of steel ring post. The surgery. The scar. It's a brand of failure, a physical reminder of the early struggles that fuels his current rage. And that scar, it belongs to Chad Gable. Pause. The metallic scraping sound returns, louder and more insistent. I know. The Olympian? The good guy? The one leading the Alpha Academy? The man who seems like the most genuine, hardworking competitor on the roster? That's exactly why he's the perfect, terrifying candidate. Think about it. 1. The technique and timing. Gable is an Olympic-level amateur wrestler. The attack on Punk was a textbook, precision takedown designed to target the ribs and instantly neutralize the threat. Who better to execute that than a man whose entire career is built on knowing exactly how to control and leverage another human body? Furthermore, Gable was not scheduled for WarGames. He was the last man cut. He was standing by, ready, fueled by rejection, waiting for his chance to be the substitute. 2. The scar. I verified the medical records. Gable sustained that exact scar on his left wrist during a freak accident in a dark match in 2017. He hides it constantly, either with wrist tape or his gear. But in that one split-second photo, as he reached out to steady himself after the attack, the black glove rides up slightly, and the scar is visible. It's his secret fingerprint. 3. The motive. Utter, burning resentment. Gable has publicly stated his frustration with being relegated to comedy or mid-card matches despite his talent. He saw Punk return and instantly take the main event spot he coveted. He didn't just want a spot in the match, he wanted to earn it by eliminating the man who took it from him, ensuring his own substitution was not just acceptable, but necessary. The ultimate irony, he used his technical mastery, his supposed virtue, to commit the ultimate act of betrayal. 4. The substitution. After Punk was taken out, the company in a state of absolute panic needed a believable, competent, and readily available replacement. Who did they turn to? The man who was right there, looking concerned, conveniently dressed and ready, Chad Gable. He stepped into the cage, played the hero, and walked out the true winner, having secured his main event position and eliminated his competition in one ruthless strike. The whole Alpha Academy gimmick? The wholesome, dedicated coach? It's the most elaborate, beautiful, and devastating cover story this business has ever seen. The smiling coach who teaches his students about integrity is the man who stabbed the icon in the back, literally and figuratively, for his own selfish gain. This isn't about Joe's temper or Drew's entitlement. This is about a man who finally decided that being the best wrestler wasn't enough. He had to be the best survivor. And in WarGames, the rules are simple: survival at any cost. I've watched that clip 20 times, slowing it down frame by frame. When the attacker is running away, he doesn't run with the hurried panic of a criminal. He runs with the athletic, controlled stride of an Olympian. He knows exactly where his exit is, and he disappears into the crowd with the ease of someone who planned every single second of the operation. And here is the final, chilling piece of proof, the one detail that confirms Gable's ruthless calculation: the mask. The black, featureless mask worn by the attacker wasn't a generic piece of gear. It was a mask specifically designed for high-intensity training, a piece of athletic equipment Gable uses in his private workouts to simulate high-altitude conditions. He used his own training gear to disguise himself, knowing no one would ever look closely at a piece of athletic apparel. The ultimate blend of the personal and the professional. The WarGames match itself? Gable was a star. He performed perfectly, securing the win for his team and cementing his place at the top. The perfect crime, the perfect replacement, and the ultimate act of self-promotion. Chad Gable is not a nice guy. He's not a hard-working coach. He's a calculating, resentful, and utterly dangerous snake who used his reputation as a shield to execute a near-perfect crime. He got his main event spot. He took out CM Punk. And he walked away unscathed. But he didn't count on one thing: Bron Breakker doesn't quit. I have the footage. I have the medical report on the scar. I have the records on the training mask. And I am going to make sure that the authority, the locker room, and every single fan knows the name of the man who ruined CM Punk's comeback. This whole saga, this suspense, this anger, this need for justice, it all boils down to one word: betrayal. Chad Gable, you just started a war. And I am your first opponent. And unlike CM Punk, I'll be waiting for you. The sound of the heartbeat stops. The only sound is the heavy, labored breathing of Bron Breakker. The camera holds on his intense, focused stare. Look, I know this is a lot. I know this theory is going to shake the foundations of how you see one of the most respected performers in the business. If this news hits you hard, if you're feeling that rush of anger, the disbelief, that your need for the truth to be heard, then you know you're on the right side of this fight. I spent days digging through medical records and obscure training videos just to bring you this answer. This is the kind of truth you won't find anywhere else. I need to know you're with me on this one. If you believe in justice, if you want the story to reach the people who need to see it, then please, smash the like button right now. Let's make this video undeniable. And please, in the comments below, tell me what you think. Is this the most shocking betrayal ever? Did you suspect Gable? Let's talk about the fallout. And finally, I know there are countless channels you could be watching, but I promise you, Ring Rumble is the only place where the curtain gets pulled back this far. I'm just a guy with a microphone and a relentless desire for the truth. I can't keep the chase going, I can't keep exposing the snakes in the grass, unless I have your support. So, if you're ready for the raw, real, and hard-hitting facts the minute they break, please, hit that subscribe button and join the Rumble family. I need you to be with me when I confront him. I need to know you have my back. Join me. Let's get justice for CM Punk.